much, Mr. Speaker. And as always, it's an honour to be able to stand in this place and present petitions, and of which I present a unique petition today, because this particular petition was offered to the member from Skeena, Bulkley Valley, but he refused to present it in this place. So therefore, I stand on behalf of the people of Skeena, Bulkley Valley and present this petition that calls upon a number of things, highlights the absurdity of Liberal gun rules, and call upon the Government of Canada to stop any and all current and future bans on hunting and sport shooting firearms. Mr. Speaker, it is an honour to stand in this place on behalf of the people of Skeena, Bulkley Valley and represent them, because their MP certainly is it.
Well done. The Honourable Petitions, Honourable Member from Kitchener Centre.
Point of order, Speaker.
Point of order. The Honourable Member from James Bay, Timmins James Bay.
Well, I know it's the second day back, but the Speaker is well aware that people cannot use petitions to make political speeches. They're supposed to read the petitions. I'd ask the Speaker to review the rules on petitions.
That is indeed. I'd like to remind members that the tradition is for members to present petitions and not to comment on those things. So I'd ask all members to do that. The Honourable Member from Kitchener Centre rising on for petition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's an honour to rise to present one of many petitions.
Point of order, the Honourable Member from New Westminster Burnaby.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I wanted to come back to the unparliamentary comments made by the member from Battle River Crowfoot. My colleague from Timmins James Bay addressed that a few minutes ago. And I wanted to cite a ruling on December 12th. As you know, Mr. Speaker, the member for Prince George, Peace River, Northern Rockies also attempted to do the same thing in an unparliamentary way, tried to mislead the House and mislead Canadians. At the time, Mr. Speaker, you'll recall that the ruling was that the attempt by the member from Prince George, Peace River, Northern Rockies was not permissible, and that the member should rise and apologize. So I believe you should be asking the member from Battle River Crowfoot to apologize for his unparliamentary use of the petition sector and for misleading the House. Yeah.
Well, I would like to thank the Honourable Member from New Westminster Burnaby for raising this point and reminding the Chair of a similar ruling in the past. And it's a new year, it's the second day that we're back, so it's a little bit rusty in terms of the application and use, but I do understand and I do agree and affirm the statement, which was the decision that was made by the Chair. But I see that the member from Battle River Crowfoot is on his feet, and I hope he will be able to put this issue to rest. The Honourable Member from Battle River Crowfoot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate the opportunity to highlight that very specifically in the statement that I made during petitions did not politicize.
Before I go to point of order, I'm just going to take a little minute here. We're order. I'm going to ask the Honourable Member from Prince George Peace River, please, colleagues. Thank you. Mr. Kirk is rising on the point of order. I'm going to go to the point of order raised by Mr. Julian, but I'm hoping that Mr. Kirk will, sorry, my apologies, not mention a member. I will, no, there is no intention to name you at this point. And I hope there will never be an opportunity to do so. The member is an honourable member, and I'm hoping that he can help us restore order to the House. So I'll ask the honourable member, please, to continue with his statement, but very brief.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I intentionally did not politicize the content of the statement, but rather highlighted the fact that there was a particular member of this place that did refuse to present that petition when given the opportunity in the past. So, Mr. Speaker, I ask that my word be allowed to stand because it simply is the truth, and I intentionally did not politicize what those petitioners from Skeena.
Thank you. The honourable member from New Westminster Burnaby is rising on a point of order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The rules of this House are quite clear. You've asked the member to apologize. He's refused. He should not be recognized in this House until he apologizes.
So I thank the honourable member from New Westminster Burnaby. I didn't ask, actually, again, just a little rusty, I didn't ask the member to apologize. I did ask him to stand up to express, and I was hoping that he would do so voluntarily. But I will ask, given the ruling on December 12th of last year by the ruling, and to be consistent with that ruling, I'm going to ask the honourable member to withdraw the comments that could be deranged to this, déranger cette chambre, puis à présenter ici.
That could bother this House and present his apology.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would ask for a clarification of the ruling before I stand and apologize for something that I believe I did nothing wrong.
So I'm going to ask once again to be consistent with the ruling of this chair for the member from Peace River Northern Rockies who was asked to apologize, because when you present petitions, colleagues, there should be no comment aside from the substance of the petition. To mention whether or not another member, another honourable colleague had presented it or didn't, or for whatever reason, that should stand as it is. So I will, before we go to points of order, so I'll ask the honourable member, please, from Battle River Crowfoot, to be consistent with this. To start the new year right, to please just briefly apologize and withdraw those comments. And in presenting petitions in the future, all members should just focus on the substance of the petitions and not make comments as to onto other issues. So I'll ask the honourable member from Battle River Crowfoot to please stand.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will not apologize for standing up for the people of this country. They're not being...
All right, so until the member does rise to apologize, the chair will not be recognizing the member. The honourable member from Peace River Northern Rockies.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, just for clarity, this precedent that supposedly was set because of what I apologize for doing this. I said at the time, I said, if I did something wrong, then I'll apologize, I guess. Is exactly what I said, but it still wasn't clear whether I had broken any rules. But I said, I'll never apologize for representing the people of Skeena Bulkley Valley. That's exactly what I said. So please don't take, there's no clear ruling on this that we even broke any rule by doing so. So please.
I thank the honourable member for that, and we will certainly take a look to making sure that everything is consistent. But from the advice which I've received from the officers at the table, this is certainly consistent. The honourable member from New Brunswick Southeast.
Thank you,
Southwest.
Mr. Speaker. I think the advice you're getting from the table officers has to be explained to this House. It is an honour to stand in this House.
So we are getting into debate. The matter has. So the chair did explain what was brought forward by the table officers. I'll ask members, continuing for the patient, and we will be able to bring forward. I do see. I'm going to ask members to please take their seat for the moment before I go through on point of order. We are just pulling up the actual text right now, so we'll be getting back to members. So I'll ask members to sit down. On the issue which was raised by the member from Peace River Northern Rockies, we did take a look at Hansard, and we did find that the member did apologize for breaking the rules, and he did. I will invite members to go back and take a look at that, but the member apologized for breaking the rules. We do have that in Hansard. We've just consulted. And indeed, the member had done, and he had presented his apologies. So I thank the member for doing so. The honourable member, there is no debate on this issue. There is just the presentation of this. As a matter of the record has stood in terms of the House of Commons as to what had happened back in December. One moment, please. I'm sorry. The member from North Okanagan, forgive me.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to bring to your attention your lack of consistency on this issue. The member from the NDP raised a point of order and you immediately followed, stating that when presenting petitions, it should be the matter of the petition only that is addressed. Immediately following, another member made a quite extensive presentation regarding the petition he was presenting. You did not intervene then, so why would you intervene on the issue with the member from Battleford-Crowfoot?
It's not because you're partisan or anything, is it?
Order. Order. The honourable member from Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan, is rising on a point of order.
Thank you, Chair. I want to draw the attention of the House to an incident on December the 15th. The member for Rimouski, Najet, Timawaskan, Les Basques presented a petition in the House. At the end of the petition, he said, "I hope that as a result of petition E4604, the Liberal government will finally understand that it needs to meet the expectations and needs of our students and researchers." I note that at that time, the Deputy Speaker objected to that statement, highlighting the rule. The Deputy Speaker said the honourable member may present only the content of the petition. He cannot present his point of view on the petition to the House. I just want to make this point because a member was about to raise a point of order on this subject. However, the Assistant Deputy Speaker at the time did not request an apology. I recall this is one incident. I think there are many instances where members have been accused of going over the line in their commentary on petitions. When that has happened, other members have raised points of order. The chair has sometimes chastened the member, encouraged the member to speed up, encouraged the member to stop. It is without precedent that the chair would demand an apology from a member who engages in this fairly minor and somewhat subjective transgression of the standing order. There are many, many examples, and I've cited one of them from December 15th that I found in about 10 seconds of searching. But I could find dozens of such examples where, yes, members may have gone over the line a little bit. Yes, points of order may have been raised, and the Speaker may have even said, "You shouldn't do that. Remember that for next time." But it is not reasonable to simply make up a new standard and apply it to a particular member and require that member to apologize for such a minor infraction. So I hope, Chair, you will take all of that precedent into consideration and provide some clarification. Thank you.
Well done, Garner.
Before we move on to a plethora of points of order, I'm going to comment on the issue which was raised by the member from Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan. It is indeed true that the member can point to many examples where members have made comments on petitions which have been presented to the House. That does happen from time to time, and usually it does get a rebuke by the chair or a reminder by the chair for members to just focus in on the subject of the petition. However, there have been instances where the chair, and in this case that was raised from December 15th, where the assistant chair had, when a member accused another member of lacking courage to present a petition or making a comment about the character, where the member was asked to apologize, and the member rose on his feet and did apologize if they had broken any rules of the House, which the chair had determined that they had broken the rules of the House. This is the reason why this is being asked for here today. This is a matter which the chair would be pleased to come back to members with more detailed understanding as to, or detailed observations as to what should and shouldn't be done. But let it suffice to say that it makes sense that for members to impugn the character of other members would be considered an act which is not parliamentary and usually would require an apology. This matter is now closed on this issue. I'm going to hear the honourable member from Peace River Northern Rockies who is going to cite some rulings from rules of procedure, and we will listen to that. But after we hear this, I'm going to be pretty satisfied that this matter is closed for the moment until the chair comes back to this House. The honourable member from Peace River Northern Rockies.
Just for clarity, Mr. Speaker, when I said in my statement previously, I said, if I said something wrong, then I apologize. It was never made clear to me from the table after that point that I had made an error. But right from the book itself, Boston Gagnon, it says, the member may then give a brief statement to inform the House of the petition's content, which is exactly what I did. It does not say that you cannot mention a member, which is the whole NDP's point of order in the first place. It doesn't say that I'm not allowed to do that in this book. It says the member may not make a speech or enter into a debate in relation to the petition. It does say that, which I wasn't doing. I was making a brief statement about the petition, then went into the petition. I broke no rules, therefore I will rescind my apology because I didn't make any mistake. And I would also challenge you for the member from Battle River Crowfoot that he did not make a mistake either and should not be withheld from speaking in this House.
So the chair is going to come back to the House on this matter. I thank the honourable member from Peace River, Northern Rockies for quoting from the rules, but as he had also quoted, doing a preliminary listening to what he had raised, there is indication as to why the member was asked to apologize and why the chair considered at the time for the rules. We will come back, the chair will come back to this matter in short order. So we will not be, is a point, I see the member from Timmins James Bay rising on a point of order. Is this similar on, is it on this matter?
A request for a clarification, because you said the issue. You're bringing it back.
Well, the matter is closed. Thank you very much. And this is the same matter which I heard from informal comments, not on mic, from the member from Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan. We are going to be coming back. The matter on this issue is closed. We are going to come back to the House with a fuller explanation so that members can conduct themselves with greater clarity in the future. So I see the member from New Brunswick Southwest who is rising on a point of order. Is this the same point of order for the member from New Brunswick Southwest, or is this a new?
It is. No, it is not on this issue. I hear you're going to come back to us. However, my point of order, Speaker, is that members in this chamber, this is the place to voice our concerns with respect to. No, just hear me out for a second.
Well, if I could, so I'm going to just ask the member. Order, please. All members, if I could ask you to please keep order so that we can hear the member from New Brunswick Southwest. The member from New Brunswick Southwest is an experienced member, and I'm going to ask him to get to the point very quickly because it is sounding a lot like debating this current issue. And so I'm going to ask him to get to it immediately, or I'm going to rise and then move on this debate.
Some parliaments ago, there was a debate in this chamber over the rights of members to express themselves vis-a-vis their whips. The Speaker at that time ruled clearly that debates from both sides of the chamber had to be made in this room, not in the corridor behind us. So members came to this chambers and made their best arguments to inform the Speaker so the Speaker could make a better ruling. My concern is the practice of the Speaker cutting off concerns, points of order on an issue at hand before the House cuts the members out of this process, leaving it up to the Speaker to make a ruling behind closed doors. We would be well served to have a debate over the rules around petitions, and I regret the Speaker's decision because he's going to come back here, say the matter is closed, without having heard from members in good faith who want to actually represent their members when it comes to petitions. And I think the Speaker would be well advised to hear from MPs who are here trying to work in a good faith effort to advance this House in a way that we hear from.
I thank the honourable member from New Brunswick Southwest for raising this issue. And it is a valid point, but the chair feels that they've heard enough from around the table to be able to go back and to come to consider this matter and to come back to the House. Is this on a new point of order from the?
The chair needs to clarify whether or not the member for Battle River Crowfoot will be able to speak prior to your further ruling. I appreciate that you would like to take the time.
That is a point. That is very much on the subject matter that is before this House at this time. The chair's decision stands that the member would have to come back to apologize before coming back to the member of order.
If you're coming back.
All right. We are now moving on.
Then let him speak. He's back.
The honourable member from North Okanagan, Shuswap, has been very patient. I'll ask him to rise on a point of order if it is a new point of order.
I have been very patient because I asked you a direct question. I did not receive an answer to it. I hope that that will also be included in your response to this House. Thank you.
I thank the honourable member.